Happy Friday. It's Natalie, the dear hairdresser, coming in. This will be 3 weeks in a row that I filmed on a Friday. So what happened for me this week was that my daughter, my little baby, turned 7.
Can you blow them all out? Make a wish, make a wish. Oh, that's it.
And anytime one of your children turns 7, or any child that you know for that matter, it's a really reflective time, you know? I mean, similar to your own birthday, where you can look back and go, oh, I'm getting older. A kid doing that, though, you look back and you're like, whoa, you mean while I was aging, you were aging also? But you're like actually changing, you know? So that had me thinking about topics that I could talk about. Well, first I wanted to entertain you with what a 7-year-old wants for their birthday, a 7-year-old little girl. So the 2 favorite toys were slime. Thanks, Aunt Mandy. The second one is this doll, the LOL OMG fashion doll. Here she is making her debut. Isn't she classy? Yeah. And you know, these dolls are a little curvier. And she actually has nipples. The kids pointed that out to me, that she's gotten a little flack in her world because she's a little too realistic. But I promise you, I don't know anyone that has a giant head like this and these big eyes. I mean, she's cute for a doll. As I had always heard as a hairdresser, this urban legend that every 7 years, you know, your skin and your hair and everything changes and all your cells change. And obviously I've been pushing that information along without any evidence that that's true or not. So today I went and looked it up and I found one science article that said, you know, we're always changing, our cells are always changing. So that isn't quite right exactly. It's not exactly wrong. I found another one that was a little more of an energy article, and it was talking about life cycles, and that kind of clumps in with the number 7 because those life cycles seem to go on a 7-year cycle, meaning that sweet Miss Stella at 7 years old has now ended her first life cycle, and I can see that she's changing a lot. I'm hoping that moving into the next life cycle that we get a little more control of our emotions. I guess the reason I was thinking that I could share that is because I've been thinking a lot about myself and wanting to go back in time and forgive myself for lots of things. And as I'm going back in time and looking back, I'm starting to notice all the little spots that I hadn't noticed before where I could have made other decisions. And maybe I was in a cycle. A karmic cycle where I could have been learning, but I wasn't ready to learn that lesson. And so I kept choosing, you know, maybe what wasn't going to be good for me and land me right back in the same situation. On that note, because I'm not a 7-year-old, I'm a 40-year-old, which puts me in the middle of, you know, the 35 to 42-year-old cycle. So I guess I'm not supposed to have it all figured out right now, and I'm right on track, as it turns out. I'm going to put the link for these 2 articles that I found down below so that if you made it this far in the video, you can look at them yourself and see what cycle you're in and how that relates to your world. And maybe if you are stuck in an old cycle because you haven't had a chance to mature out of it yet. And I'm guessing that once you kind of clue in that you didn't mature into the cycle you're supposed to be in, like let's say you're 40, and you're finally waking up and realizing that maybe you've been acting like you were 21. Not me, you know, just someone I know. You know, and you start to look back and go, well, I don't want to be that person anymore. I think I want to be a 40-year-old. I'm pretty comfortable here. Then, you know, you've got to rapidly start making all these advancements pretty quickly. Moving faster than the speed of light, really. I guess that is possible if you want it to be. Okay. All right. I'm only going to say goodbye now. My boyfriend called because we had a nice little coffee morning together. Can you tell I'm glowing? Okay, anyways, have a great weekend. I'll come back next week. Bye. Take care.